Good morning, class. Today we are going to study chapter 3 from your Snapshots textbook, which is called Ranga's Marriage. This is a story which revolves around a person named Ranga, and this is we are going to see a very funny narrator here. The narrator is going to tell us about an incident that is happening in their own village. Now, he began to tell us about how and where and what their village is all about, and he said that uh, their village name is Hosahali. Now, Hosahali is a village which actually exists. It is a village, a small village, which is very near to Bangalore in Karnataka. Now, he is saying that, okay, this is Hosahali is the name of our village, and you might have heard of it or you might not have heard of it, because he goes on to say that you might not have heard of it because our village is a very small village and no one bothered to put the name of our village on any map of India. When the British were there in India, they did not bother to put the name of our village on any map of India. But when you come to our village, you will know that our village really existed. And this is he goes on to say that their village is a nice place, and then he said that it played a very important part in their own state also, just like a very sweet Kariga Dabu. Kariga Dabu is a South Indian sweet. It is filled with coconut and sugar, and it tastes very nice. And he said that just like it is in Kariga Dabu, you have this nice feeling inside. Just like that, our village played a very important role. It is like the inside feeling of this Kariga Dabu, like how this is what our village is playing an important role to our state. It is just like that to Mysore. Our village is like that. It is a sweet feeling. And then we have a dog. He goes on to tell us that if you think that I'm exaggerating about my description of our village, then you can ask our village doctor. We have a village doctor here, and his name is Gundabhata, and he is a very educated fellow, and he had been to so many places, but not England. If you ask him if he had ever been to England, he will tell you, no, Anaya, I have left that to you. Running around like a flea-pestered dog is not for me. I have seen a few places in my time though. Now, he used to tell them, no, just like a flea-pestered dog, I cannot run around like that, visiting so many countries. But I have been to many other places, but I have not been to England. So this is what his reply will be. Now, they have, in the next paragraph, the writer goes on to describe about the mango trees that were there in their village, and he said that there are lots and lots of mango trees in their village, and if you visit them, he is going to give you a raw mango, and he goes on to describe how you should eat this raw mango. If you take a bite of it, don't just eat it when we give it to you. Don't just eat it without thinking about it. Just take a bite, then chew it. You have to savor it and think about the sourness that comes from the raw mango. And he said that he once took home this raw mango, and they made a chutney out of it, and the whole family ate the chutney, and they got cough from it. They suffered severe cough from it, and he said that only when he went to the doctor to get this cough medicine, then the doctor explained to him the special quality of that mango fruit. And just like the mango is special, again he said that everything is special in their village. And there is a very beautiful pond. The water is clear, where the water is very nice and clear and clean, and people used to take bath in that pond. And he suggested that there are very beautiful creepers which are growing there, and the leaves of those creepers are very big, and when you go for a bath in the pond, then if you take 2 creeper leaves at home, then in the evening you will have no problem of serving the dinner on those leaves. You will have no problem of worrying about, where to serve the dinner. So you can use the leaves of the creepers for serving food as well, it seems. So this is how he is talking about his village. It looks like he's very fond of his village. And he said that, okay, I'm rambling, I'm going on and on and on about my village without coming to the exact point about this Ranga's marriage. But if we talk about our village, it is the same like this. We used to describe about it on and on and on, because our village is very special to all of us. Now he said that long ago, he said that it happened 10 years ago. So we don't know exactly when this is written. So 10 years ago might be very long back. And then he said that during that time, there is not many people speak English in their village. There are no people. There are not many people who understand the English words like today. Now, these days, he said that if we visit his village, there are lots and lots of people who can speak English. But during those days, there are not lots of people who can speak in English. And there was one incident that happened there, and this person named Ramarao, he had a son, and there was a lady who came to Ramarao's home, and this lady was buying some firewood, and Ramarao's son was buying some firewood from this lady, and when he was going to give money, he said that he does not have change. He does not have small change of money. So this lady, and he asked her to come back later to collect the money. So this lady did not know the meaning of the word change, and she went away muttering to herself. She was not very happy about it because they were using English words and she does not understand. So this is what happens. And then the narrator said that he himself did not understand the word change, but only when he visited Ranga at his house later, and he asked him the meaning of the word change, then he came to understand the meaning only when he asked Ranga. And now the English language, not many people, like we've said before, not many people knows how to speak the language very good during that time. And the accountant of their village, the village accountant, was courageous enough, brave enough, or what shall we say, was clever enough to send his son Ranga to Bangalore to study. So when he sent his son Ranga to Bangalore to study, and after 6 months he came back from, this boy Ranga came back from Bangalore, and his homecoming was a very big event in the whole village. People were gathering around to see the boy Ranga who had come home, and they were all of them were whispering to each other, Ranga, the accountant's son has come. They said, the accountant's son has come. The boy who had gone to Bangalore for his studies is here, and also, come, Ranga is here. Let's go and have a look. Now, all of them were running towards Ranga's house. They were gathering in front of Ranga's house, and they came to see how he is. And the narrator said that since he heard the commotion, he went towards where people were running. So he was standing at the back of the crowd, and he was asking some people, what is happening here? Is there a performing monkey? There is no performing monkey here. So why is everyone gathering around here? And one young fellow answered him, then what are you doing here? Why are you coming here if there is nothing to see? And he said that this youngster might be, he does not have any manners, how he talked to the elders. He is a very mannerless person. But since this happened a long time ago, the narrator said that he is going to forgive him. And Now, what happened was that at this point, Ranga came out of the house. He was smiling and greeting everyone, and everyone, all the people who had gathered here, seeing that Ranga still has the same face, the same body, the same smile, the same skin color, everything, they thought that since this boy went to Bangalore, maybe he is going to change. But since they saw that Ranga still has the same, everything still is the same person, they did not find any amusement in that, and so one by one they went they went away from Ranga's home. And after everyone is gone, the narrator keeps standing there, and he said that he is talking to Ranga. He said, "How are you, Rangappa? Is everything well with you?" So when he was addressing Ranga at this point, um, the narrator said that he is talking to Ranga. He is talking to Ranga, and he said, "How are you, Rangappa? Is everything well with you?" Now, Ranga, being a very polite and a very good fellow, he came and did a namaskar to this narrator, because the narrator is an elderly man, and he said, and the narrator again came to tell us the details about how Ranga did his namaskar. He said that Ranga did not do it like any other young fellow, because other young fellow, they were very clumsy with how they did their namaskar. They simply stand, or their head is looking towards the sky without thinking clearly, and when they greet the elders, they did not, they simply bow their heads or bend their heads. But Ranga did not do that. He bent down, he touched the feet of the narrator, and the narrator is blessing him. And the Ranga replied with him and saying that, "I am well by your blessings. I am all right with your blessings." Now he said that, "Yes, if I get your blessings, then I'm all right." So the narrator is blessing him, and he said that, "May you get married soon." So what we have to know is that marriage is a very important, it's a very big part of the lives of these people, because mostly they get married through you know arranged marriage. Arranged marriage means that their parents would arrange their marriage, even them without having any love affair between them. If their parents agreed to let their sons and daughters marry each other, then they will arrange the marriage and they will get married like that. And uh, that and this again, since the narrator is an elderly man, he was thinking about, what a good husband this Ranga would make. He is already an educated man, and he would play a very important role in the society as well. So he wanted Ranga to get married. Now, that afternoon, when the narrator was resting, Ranga came to his house and gave him some oranges. And when Ranga came to his house, the narrator asked Ranga, "What do you plan to do? When do you plan to get married?" But Ranga told him, "No, I did not plan to get married very soon." And he explained to the narrator why he did not want to get married very soon. He said that, no, if I got married, I wanted myself to get married to a girl that I admire. These days we have only arranged marriage, and if we do not like each other, how can we make a successful marriage? And also, if I get married to a very young girl who did not understand anything, then if I talk to her, she might misunderstand me. If I spoke to her with words full of love, then she might understand me spoken as spoken words out of anger. So she might misunderstand me. We cannot have a good communication. We cannot get married like that. We cannot build up a good marriage like that. So I'm not going to be in a hurry to get married. I will wait for the time when the right girl comes. But when Ranga leaves, the narrator was saying that he is going to make his goal. He is going to achieve his goal. He's going to make Ranga's marriage his goal. He's going to set up Ranga with someone from a good family and someone who is a good girl, and he's going to make Ranga agreed to marry that girl. So this is his goal. And what happened was, there was a girl called Ratna, and she is Ramarau's niece. Now, since her parents died, Ramarao took care of her. She brought her in their house, and he took care of her. And she came from a very big city, so she knew how to play some musical instruments, and she is also a very good singer, and she has a very nice voice. And the narrator thought that this Ratna would be a very good match for Ranga, because she's a good girl, she's a nice girl, and she is of marriageable age. Now he said that she is 11 years old, so 11 years old during their time might be a marriageable age. I don't know how it is right now, but now since he wanted to set these two up, he went to visit Ramarao, and then to Ramarao's wife he said, I'm going to send you some buttermilk in the evening, and asked Ratna to come and fetch the buttermilk. So in the evening, Ratna came. It was Friday, and she was wearing a grand sari, and and the narrator asked her to wait in his room and to sing a song for him. So while Ratna was singing with her very melodious, with her sweet voice, she was singing a song called Krishnamurti in front of my eyes. Now, Ranga, the narrator secretly sent for Ranga as well. So Ranga reached the narrator's house at that point when Ratna was singing, and the sun was shining, the evening sun was shining inside the room, and Ranga was standing at the door. He could not see the room clearly, he could not see who was singing. And while Ratna was singing with her very sweet voice, Ranga was standing at the door, and when Ranga suddenly saw Ratna suddenly saw Ranga, she stopped her singing, and Ranga at that time was feeling guilty. He said, you stop your singing because of me, please continue with your singing. Now what happened was that the narrator closely looked at the face of Ranga at this time, and he could see that Ranga really admired the beauty of Ratna, because Ratna was a very beautiful girl. And the narrator said that he could clearly see how Ranga's eyes lit up when he saw Ratna, and the narrator said that he looked at Ranga at that time, and Ranga took his eyes off Ratna, and he looked very embarrassed. Now, after that, after Ranga came, Ratna went home, and after Ratna went home, Ranga asked to the narrator, who is this girl, who is that girl? And the narrator, being a very good matchmaker, he did not want to tell Ranga directly who this girl is, and he said, it doesn't matter if who this girl is, she is a very nice girl and she is of marriageable age, but since you don't want to get married, and I'm already married, and I'm an old man now, none of us are able to marry her, so it doesn't matter who she is. Now Ranga asks her, oh, then she is not married yet? And the narrator said, she used to be married a year ago, I don't know. And then Ranga said, okay, I will go home now. Now what happened was, the next morning, the narrator took his time to go to the Shastri, the astrologer, the village astrologer, and he told him, keep everything ready to read your, star signs and everything to read, to practice your astrology. I'm going to come in the evening. And he told him what to say, and everything that he is going to say. Now, what happened was that after that, the narrator found Ranga, and Ranga, he looked very disturbed. The narrator said that Ranga looked very disturbed, and the narrator asked Ranga, what happened to you? You look like you have some problem. Ranga said, no, it is just nothing is wrong with me. there is nothing wrong with me. But even though Ranga said nothing is wrong with me, maybe you have a headache. So come, let us go to the doctor. And Ranga said, no, I don't have any headache. I'm my usual self. But the narrator still insisted, and he said, I went through the same problem when my parents are going to choose a girl for me. So maybe you have a problem, and we will just go the Shastri. We will go to Shastri and we'll see what your problem is. So Ranga, being a very obedient person, he followed the narrator blindly. And so when they saw Shastri, Shastri was welcoming them. Oh, Shyama, we haven't seen each other for a long time. So Shyama is the name of our narrator here. And the narrator forgot that he visited Shastri in the morning and told him everything that he's going to say. So the narrator, Shyama, suddenly he feels very angry. What? Only in the morning he was almost blurting out. He was almost confessing himself. But Shastri was very clever to cover Shyama's mistake, and he said, oh, in the morning you finish your work and now you are able to come visit me. Now after that, Shyama also realized his mistake, and then he keep on talking very carefully after that. And he said, oh, this Ranga, our boy, he seems to have some problem. So I want you to take out your all your things, all your astrology things, and then I want you to detect the problem that he had. And then Shastri, being a very efficient and a very expert astrologer, he took out all his belongings and all his materials that he needed for his astrology, and he took out, spread it on the table, and then he said, oh, maybe you are I think it is about a girl. You are having some trouble about a girl. And he is asking, who is this girl? Shastri was thinking before replying, and he said, she has the name of something found in the ocean. Now maybe Kamala, maybe, and maybe Pachi. But Shastri was saying, okay, does it have to be Kamala or Pachi? It could be Ratna, meaning pearl, the precious pearl. Now Ratna, the girl in Ramarao's house. Now the narrator here, he sounded as if he was surprised by Shastri's revelations. He was acting surprised, and he said, oh my god, the girl in Ramarao's house name is Ratna. Tell me, is there any chance of our negotiations bearing fruit? Is there any chance of this negotiation bearing fruit to that girl Ratna there? And he was thinking about it, and when the narrator secretly looked at Ranga, and he could see that Ranga was very happy, he looked very happy. But that girl is married, he said. And then now Shastri is saying, oh, I don't know about it. This is what my Shastra had told me about it. I do not know if that girl is married or not, but maybe there are some other girls named Ratna as well, and she might be a good match for Ranga. So they have left Shastri's place, and they went on their way home. And on their way home, Shyama briefly went inside Ramarao's house, and when he came back, he told Ranga, oh, that girl is not yet married, it seems. Someone had told me the other day that she was already married, but it seems that they are wrong. So she has not yet married. But I cannot believe it. Rangappa, have you ever thought of this girl? Please tell me truthfully. Have you ever thought about this girl? Now Ranga cannot hide his feelings anymore, and he confessed to Shyama, yes, it is very surprising that the Shastri would know about it, but I'm actually thinking about that girl a lot. Now, what happened was, in the last paragraph of the story, we could see that some time had already passed, and Ranga and his wife Ratna, they invited Shyama, the narrator, for to come to their house for dinner. And the narrator said that Shyama, they invited him for dinner because it was their own son Shyama's birthday, third birthday. So they already had a son named, and they named him Shyama because it was the narrator who brought them together, and they named him after the narrator. And he is their son is already 3 years old, and again it looks as if Ratna is pregnant with their second child, and the narrator asks Ranga, who is taking care of little Shyama here and the house. And Ranga said their sister, his sister is living with them, is taking care of his family with them. Now they said, with that, Shyama, the narrator, went to Ranga's house to celebrate Ranga's son Shyama's third birthday. So this is how what the story is telling us about. Now I hope you enjoy this story, and again I am going to tell you to read the textbook. Please read your textbook, because your textbook is your main source. Even if you have lots and lots of notes to read from or to learn from, still your textbook is going to be your main source. If you know your textbook clearly, then you will have no problem in answering any questions. So read your textbook, and with that I will say thank you, class, and I hope to see you in the next class.